Well, hello there, and welcome back. This is episode 12 of my Minecraft 1.14 Let's Play series. Between episodes, I did some more end busting, and I ended up coming back with just under 3.5 stacks of shulker shells. So that plus these shulker shells from my last run gives me just over 6 stacks of shulker shells. So that's pretty decent. That's more than I had the last time I did an end run. However, those didn't last me super long, and I don't know if these will last me super long as well. I might have to go back sometime fairly soon. I have an absolutely ridiculous number of elytra and dragon heads now at this point, which is kind of fun. I don't know if I'll ever. I've got a whole bunch that are already enchanted. I got a whole bunch back at my base. Just a ridiculous number of elytra. And the dragon heads we might have fun with at some point in the future. I'm in need of a sugarcane farm in order to unlock library villager trades. Normally, in previous versions of the game, I would have done this a lot sooner, but with the changes of the villagers, I just haven't needed it yet. But now that I want to set up a whole bunch of library villagers, all with book trades, I need a decent amount of sugarcane to do that. I'm also pretty nearly out of sugarcane, and my rockets are running a little low, so I'm going to need paper for that as well. This is one of Ilmango's designs. It's a fairly new. He released this about 2 months ago using a two-way flying machine. Or a four-way flying machine. It's very cool. So it just sends this off, and it only cuts off a little bit at once, which reduces the overall lag. It doesn't lag the whole server all at once. It just kind of cuts down a little bit, doesn't send that many item entities. So that's pretty cool. I like this design quite a bit. This, I believe, is somewhere around 72 by like 76 or something like that. And it produces 4,500 items per hour, which is over 2.5 shulker boxes per hour. Now, I did some measurements in my current world, and this would technically fit, I think, and the corner might be a little bit, I'm not sure. It would technically fit on my floating island. I could definitely find room on it. My floating island is very big, but this is like, I mean, even for me, this is overkill, and I normally love overkill. I just don't need anything this big in order to, So I'm going to cut this in half in both directions, so it'll be a fourth of the size total. It'll be quite a bit smaller. Maybe I'll run it 1 or 2 blocks longer in each direction. We'll see how everything works out when I lay it all out. But I just don't need something this big. So we'll be looking to get like somewhere around a half to 3/4 of a shulker box per hour. And that's going to be fine, especially when you let it grow for a while and it's off and it mines all of these at once. It'll produce probably over a shulker box. We'll get the exact, well, we probably won't ever get the exact numbers, but we'll get a good idea when we get it running in real life. I've ended up making a couple of small changes from Ilmango's design. For starters, mobs can actually spawn in sugarcane, and I didn't realize that until I started building this, and I started having mob problems, and Ilmango's design doesn't really account for that, so I've had to add some lights here, and I've got this pattern where it's every third block, every other row of dirt, and that seems to reach all the way up to the top, so there are no spawnable spaces anywhere in there. I could have put lights like right there, and it would have required fewer lights, but it's not like I'm really have a shortage of sea lanterns, and I think this one looks a lot better. And then the other change I made is that Ilmango's design had the water moving front, that's the front up there where the switch will be, to the back, and then the collection was in the back corner back here. And I did some evaluation of the design, and I realized that the water stream pattern has no bearing on anything else in the build, so you can just switch it around. You could even make it go the other way if you... No, you couldn't. It does have to be going this way, but I can make it go from back, so the water streams start here, and then the collection point I've got set up over here, down here, so there's a... the stream comes in through here, and then I've even already set up a chest here for now that collects the items. So they come down here, they go to there, and through to there. And so that's a little more convenient for me. I'll probably set up a shulker box loader down here somewhere, and have an item elevator like I did on my mob farm. Bring them up to a chest. It'll be somewhere over here or something like that. All right, let's see if I got this thing right. Here goes nothing. Oh, that is... Oh, it is going the right way. Okay. All right. Looking good. We got a flying machine. Let's see if it turns around when it gets to the other side. All right, that's looking good. Awesome. So far, so good. The true test is if it turns all the way around when it reaches this side, then it should come down to here and do this side. So I'll be back. Nope, it stopped right there because I forgot some redstone here on all of these guys. All of them, apparently. I think I have to turn it off and back on again to get it to launch again, because it's observer based, so it waits on a change. There we go. Alright, simple fix there. Alright, it's coming along for the last row, and I expect that it will actually work well. It's leaving a lot of sugarcane on the dirt, though, which I did not expect. So maybe... there's another mode that has minecart hoppers that collect the items, and it's actually a little bit more, it's quite a bit more efficient. Oh, we got a stoppage over here. But I didn't want to do that because I hate minecart hoppers. Alright, something's not right here with, it should just detect that and go. Alright, so it looks like it's a problem with the flying machine itself. I'll have to review that and figure out what's going on. But yeah, I didn't want to, I did this mode because I don't like hopper minecarts. I've had too many glitches where they just stop on the rails and you got to go under the system and fix them. They're super annoying. I just don't like dealing with them. So I figured I'd do it this way. And if this is enough, then it's enough and I'm not going to worry about it. I could always make this bigger if it's not enough, or maybe I'll change it up. But I feel like, I mean, I tested it in creative. It's the same version of the game. It should be plenty. Okay, it was actually something super simple. I put some carpet on these obsidian to block spawns on them, and that didn't work because it hits the push limit. Alright, so now it's off and running again. Alright, and it's finishing up the first round. And everything is looking great. Fantastic. Let's see what kind of haul we got down here. Ooh, that's pretty nice. And there's still more coming in, and so there's a lot of them that's stuck. Oh, that's not a lot, I guess. It's not a super lot. I wonder why they're getting stuck like that. There's ice right here. They shouldn't be getting stuck. I was going to swap out these slabs here for iron trapdoors, but then I realized the water stream actually ends here. So there's no reason to put anything here at all, because there's actually quite a bit that's getting stuck up there, but now it shouldn't. I was thinking I might want to like build an observation deck, some way to get up here, and then like just build it over top of this. That may be kind of cool, because then this is fun to watch. I like watching this. So building an observation deck on top of this might be a nice AFK area for this as well. Something to look forward to in the future. I have other plans for this episode, so I probably won't do it today. I got a little carried away, and I ended up building the observation deck that I said I wouldn't. But I think it looks pretty nice. I might want to come back and add a different color to it somewhere, but I'm definitely not going to worry about that today. I got everything all sorted out, though. I got this block swapper elevator. So it's got the magma block to send me down. If I press on this pressure plate, it turns into soul sand. And then when I go back down, it's a magma block. And there's no switch anymore. There's this button right here. It's a T flip-flop that turns on this light that lets me know that the thing is active. And you just kind of walk over it. It's a gentle reminder to turn the thing off so that it doesn't break. Flying machines can break if you leave the area while they are still on. I've actually already done that twice, and this specific flying machine will fly in a different direction that it's not supposed to, and it flew off screen. It's somewhere way over there, and I had to rebuild it. So I made the wall one higher so that doesn't happen again, but also I added this. I mean, obviously I can just go around the button, but it's just, it doesn't need to be fail-proof. It's just a gentle reminder, hey, turn it off when you're done with it. So it's doing its thing. We got a nice little collection area over here. Basic, shulker boxes getting loaded, and these are so that all works pretty well. I left a shulker box up there. I'll have to go clean that up. But yeah, I think it looks pretty nice. This is a nice way to look at it. Nice AFK spot. We can turn it off. We can turn it on. We can go back down. Very cool. And I think it looks pretty nice. Again, might want another color, but there we go. Sugarcane farm, all set and ready. The next thing I want to work on is a storage system for this island, and originally I was going to place it here, but I started doing all the sizing, and it ends up that I vastly underestimated how much space it's going to take up. That said, the last storage system I made was a bit smaller, but even that one probably wouldn't end up fit here. But I want to work on, Nembaum's got a cool one that they came up with a year or two ago. But it still looks really cool, and it's silent, and it's big, and it's really efficient, and I really want to build that. And I decided that, it was worth finding this space. So I did some looking around, and I decided that over here will work just fine. So, just kind of a third building. This will be a walkway. There'll be a walkway on each side, and then there'll be two 12 by 12 storage sections on each side. And this is wildly overkill, admittedly. I probably only need one wall of Nembaum storage, but I'm going to do at least two. And then I'm going to have some shulker box loaders and some bulk storage and everything like that. And so this should fit pretty well. And it looks big. It definitely looks big. But if we fly off here and we take a look at it, it's actually not even that big at all. Ooh, I'll get a little bit further away. Get a better scope of everything. Compared to everything else, it's not even that big. So that actually means that there's room if I want to adjust things or move things over a few blocks that way, which I think I'm going to do. Or I might put a small, I might change up how they connect to each other. There's plenty of room for me to do that kind of thing without having to worry. And then I'm going to use this as like a common area, like a little park or something like that. It'll be a nice, neat area that will be a nice place to come in when I come up the bubble vader and everything. So that's the next thing I need to work on. So I recorded a whole segment of me mining nether quartz in the nether, showing how I did it and everything like that, and I was recording the wrong window. I put it in the video editor, and everything was a black screen with me talking over it, so that obviously won't work. But the upshot of which was that I managed to create this right here, which I think is pretty cool. It's a shulker box full of observers, because in my mining session, it took me about 2 hours, and I mined almost a full shulker box full of nether quartz ore, which when you crack it all, it's about 2 shulker boxes full of nether quartz. And it only takes 1 shulker box of nether quartz to make a shulker box full of observers. It does, however, take 6 shulker boxes full of cobblestone, which I just barely had. I've been using a Silk Touch pickaxe for a long time, and so I barely had enough cobblestone to get this all together. But I think it was kind of cool. This build right here is going to take a lot of observers. I don't think it'll take nearly this much, but I will use all of these observers, I'm pretty sure, at some point in time. I go through a lot of them. At some point, hopefully, I do get to do a video on how I do my nether quartz mining, because I think it's kind of useful to know, but the short version of which is that I like to do it up at the top of the nether at y equals 112, and I just kind of strip mine in a straight line. You do have to be careful to make sure that you don't fall. You can get going really fast, and if there's a hole in the floor, you can just fall down really, really far. You can fall into lava, or you could just fall on the ground and die of falling damage. But way up here, here's my strip mine. I've done this a couple times already. I did these two much earlier in the game, and then these are the ones that I did just now. And I actually went like 4,500 blocks. It took me about an hour to go 4,500 blocks. And then I went over, and then I came back, and it took me another hour to come up 4,500 blocks back. So that's how I do it. I think I got all the resources I need to build this together. including a little pumpkin farm here. I need some jack-o'-lanterns as light sources that will transmit redstone. But let's start with the first module and see how that one goes. Well, I've got everything all set up, but I've got a bit of an issue. The items are supposed to, if I put items into here, the items are supposed to come down and they're supposed to come all into the first available chest. And I put a full stack in here, and 15 of them made them into the next chest, which isn't supposed to happen. And I put a full stack in, so that means there's still 4 of them in the system. I think this is a timing issue because it's supposed to hold the hoppers for just long enough for the items to come in, so the timing's wrong. Items will drop down into the one below and then they'll move on to the next section. But I'll see if I can figure out where those extra 4 items are in the system, and that's likely where the timing issue is. Took me a little while to find this one because it's hidden way back here on the back of the machine, but I missed a spot of redstone right there, and I think that'll do the trick. So let's go over here and add 64 scaffolding to it and see what happens now. Perfect. I've got 64 slabs, all in the first chest only. Although the other 4 slabs never showed up. I'm a little concerned about that, but I guess if it keeps working moving forward, they have to show up eventually, right? Right? Well, some more testing is probably required, and I need to do that anyways because I need to test it all the way down the line to make sure chests are getting items in them all the way down. So let's do that next. I'm in creative. I'm in Nembaum's world save. These are the tutorial steps, and I'm having an issue with these hoppers down here. Nembaum said that it's possible to make this 10 wide instead of 9. So that's what I've done because I wanted it to be an even number. So mine is 10 wide, and you'll notice that there is a dropper vader that is missing here because there's some redstone down here that would get in the way of all that. So instead, the first dropper vader is offset 1 block from the first row, and as a result, all the dropper vaders, they move over 1 block to get in the next one, and then by here it's normal. And then down on the bottom, it's got to do the same thing, but it does it back here, where this row of hoppers puts it into this dropper vader, and then this one there, this one there. So you can see these arrows pointing to the side there. And then if we have a 10th row, the last one would have to go there. But that actually doesn't work, because if you do that, you have another row of hoppers here. What you really want is for the last row, when it's done, to insert its items off to the side, to there. But that doesn't work. And what it'll do is it'll just loop items forever. If it runs into something that it doesn't, that it can't sort, if you point it this way, it'll just loop them forever. And you can't move it on to the next system if you've got a hopper right there. That doesn't work. So I don't know what the solution to this is. I could potentially move this dropper vader over 1 block, move the redstone underneath over 1 block. You could easily just do this, and that works fine. And then, move these ones over 1 as well. I don't see any problem here. The real big problem is that I'd basically have to tear this whole thing down and rebuild it all from scratch. So that is the reason why I only built one of these, and instead of building them all at once. Because if something like this comes up, you want to find these issues. I might build the last 3 all at once, but I built one first in case there were any issues that I ran into that caused me to. I think I have to rebuild the thing all over again. On the bright side, I did find those 4 stone slabs as well as a bunch of other items that were stuck in the system as a result of this. It's possible that I might be able to replace these hoppers from underneath without having issues, but then there's some rails on top of these that might be pretty much impossible to replace. But I think this is probably worth a shot. Yeah, there's one of the rails. Like, I don't know how I'm going to get in there and replace that. Let's see if this works. It looks like it should be easy enough to move this redstone over. It doesn't matter if it connects to the right side or the left side. So if I just put this down here and put these 2 redstone repeaters there, everything should work pretty normally if I just move everything over. And then, of course, I'm going to have to get rid of this dropper elevator here. And I'm going to have to move it over 1 block to here. Let me get some droppers. And they're going to be facing up. And I can just jump in place, jump in place. And then I'm going to have to move this torch tower over 1 block as well. On top of these hoppers up here, I'm going to have to rearrange some of these droppers as well. This one needs to face forward, which is going to be a little bit hard to... no, neither of those work. So I'll probably have to get rid of this hopper here. Then jump down and I can place it there. There we go. And put those hoppers back. This one, we point to the side, so that one, and then there. And then this one needs to point to the right, like that. And then we'll place a hopper facing in there with. Alright, I think I got everything. Let's go ahead and give it another shot and see if it works. There's a ticking noise, which means that one of these droppers back here is being fired while empty, which means that something is wrong. Simple enough. Looks like I forgot a couple of redstone torches here. Something still doesn't seem right, though. Ah, there's another missing torch further up there. Come on. Yep, there we go. Ah, silence. There's a couple of missing repeaters down here that I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to get at without breaking these observers. And if I do that, it's going to have a chain reaction where I'm going to have to replace them all the way up. Looks like I just got to bite the bullet here and break these observers. I guess I didn't have to break that one, did I? Because I can get it there without breaking that. And then just replace these. These got to be on 3 ticks. And then I got to put the observers back. Looks like I got to break this green block here. So observer there and there. There we go. And then I got to put repeaters facing forward on top of these. So it looks like I got to break this observer up above. And then repeaters here and here. There we go. 3 ticks. Yep, there we go. Then I need to put the green block back. Repeater on that one. 3 ticks. And can I get that back there without having to break anything? Yeah. And get some scaffolding. Repeater. Hey, that wasn't as bad as I thought. Alright, let's give it another go. 4 of my sea lanterns have vanished on me. Hopefully they turn up at some point. They're still not reaching this back row rack here. Something's up. Looks like it has to do with this solid block here in relationship to this hopper. Whenever this redstone signal is active here, it's holding this hopper and not allowing items to fall from above. I think I can safely move this circuit 1 block over. I don't think that'll cause any problems. Alright, I'm missing 2 more sea lanterns, but let's give this another go anyways. Alright, all 57 made it to the end this time. And I actually found the other 2 right there, so the last 4 must be somewhere in these dropper vaders over here. Yep, there they are. So let's give this what I hope is one final test to make sure nothing gets stuck. And let's give it 2 items this time. 63 and 54, that's what I put in. So it looks like we finally got this thing working. When I started building this thing, I figured it was probably going to end up being a 2-parter, and it looks like that's definitely the case. I am super excited that I got this part working, but there is still a long way to go, and I have run out of time in this episode. So I'm going to end the episode there, and we will finish this project hopefully in the next episode. So thank you very much for watching. Have a good one.